Hello and welcome back to Voices Between, a Spiritist podcast. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Hello, everyone.
If you're new here, this is the space where we try to take a deep dive into some key Spiritist literature.
Right. We take these texts that can sometimes feel a little dense on the page.
Or maybe a little old-fashioned, even.
Exactly. And we try to bring them to life, not just by reading them, but by really talking through them.
We want to bridge that gap between the written word, which can feel abstract, and the messy reality of our actual lives. See how it all applies when the rubber meets the road?
That's the goal.
So today, we're continuing our journey through a book that I know has become a real favorite for a lot of you. It's called Our Daily Bread, or O Pão Nosso in the original Portuguese.
And it was written, of course, by the Spirit Emmanuel through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier, or Chico, as he's known.
Yes. And for anyone who needs a quick refresher, this book is basically a collection of commentaries on Scripture.
Emmanuel will take a single verse from the New Testament, something you might have read 100 times.
Right.
And he just expands on it. He gives it this Spiritist lens that is, well, it's often surprising, deeply psychological, and
Sometimes a little confronting.
sometimes very confronting.
Confronting is definitely the right word for today. We're jumping into chapter 88, and the title alone, well, it's not exactly warm and fuzzy.
No, it is not.
It's titled Corrections.
Corrections. It's just a word that, for most of us, carries so much baggage, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody likes being corrected. It triggers that defensive part of your brain immediately.
You think of a teacher's red pen, or your boss calling you into their office.
Or a speeding ticket. It almost always feels like punishment.
Precisely. We see it as a penalty, a sign that we failed. But this chapter, it just completely flips that on its head.
It does. It asks us to look at the hardships we face, the corrections life gives us, not as cruelty, and not even as punishment.
But as a very specific form of spiritual education.
It's a total reframe of the bad days, isn't it? Seeing them as lessons instead of just, bad luck.
Which is much, much easier said than done.
Of course. But that's why we're here, to unpack it. So before we get into the discussion, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to read the text.
And we're going to read the entire chapter, word for word. It's really important to hear it all in context because Emmanuel's writing is so precise. Every word matters.
It really does. So I invite you to just settle in, take a breath, and really listen to the language here. I'll start us off with the scripture that anchors the whole chapter. This is from Paul, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons, for what son is not disciplined by his father?
And now, the commentary from Emmanuel. Blessed be the Spirit that comprehends the correction by the Father and accepts it graciously. However, few individuals reach this acceptance and understanding. At times, the generous reprimand from on high, symbolizing a dedicated love, reaches man's campsite, translating sacred and silent warnings. Nevertheless, in the majority of cases, the incarnate mind repels the saving jab and submerges into a rebellious night, thereby eliminating valuable possibilities and qualifying as misfortune the unbearable renovating influence destined to clear up the sad, dark road. Many people facing the regenerating phenomena seek out the spectacular flight from this difficult situation and give in to a lifeless, slow suicide, abandoning and becoming indifferent to his destiny. He who conducts himself in such a way cannot be treated as a son, since he isolated himself and fled from Divine Providence and created a compact wall of shadow between his own heart and the paternal blessings. Those who understand the corrections from the All-Merciful readjust themselves in a new and promising circle of life. Once the intimate tempest is overcome, they reevaluate the importance of learning, serving, and constructing, and based on the bitter experiences of yesterday, apply the gratitude of the superior life looking ahead to tomorrow. Do not forget that evil cannot offer anyone a rectification. When the correction from the Father reaches you on the path, accept it humbly, fully convinced that it constitutes a true message from heaven.
Okay, let's just take a breath with that.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
It is.
There is so much packed in there. Phrases like lifeless, slow suicide, and compact wall of shadow. I mean, it's beautiful writing, but it is incredibly intense.
It's intense, but I also find it incredibly loving if you really look at what he's saying. He isn't sugarcoating the human condition at all.
No, he definitely isn't. So let's try to unpack this piece by piece. I think we have to start with that core theme, right? The reframing of hardship.
Yes.
He calls it a generous reprimand, which it feels like such a paradox. How can a reprimand possibly be generous?
Well, it goes right back to that opening scripture from Paul, the whole analogy of the Father and the Son.
Okay.
Think about it this way. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. So if you see your own child running toward a busy street or reaching for a hot stove,
Uh-huh.
what do?
You stop them. You yell, you grab their arm, whatever it takes.
Exactly. You intervene. And that intervention, it might be startling. It might even hurt a little if you have to grab them. That's the reprimand. But is it an act of anger?
No, of course not. It's protection.
It's an act of dedicated love, just as the text says.
Right. If you didn't care, you just let them go. The silence would be the actual cruelty.
Precisely. So Emmanuel is asking us to view our suffering. Those moments our plans are just crushed or we hit some sudden obstacle through that exact same lens. He uses this incredible phrase, the saving jab.
That one really stood out to me, the saving jab. It sounds almost medical,
It does.
like a shot you really don't want, or maybe a surgeon having to reset a bone.
That is a perfect analogy. A surgeon might have to break a bone that healed wrong just to reset it so it can heal correctly. To the patient, in that moment, it feels like an attack. It's just pain.
But the intention is healing. The intent is to save the limb.
So the hardship is the wake-up call. It's what the text calls the sacred and silent warnings. So often, we're walking down a path, what Emmanuel calls a sad, dark road, and we don't even know it.
We're just sleepwalking, stuck in patterns of selfishness or pride or
Yeah.
just materialism.
And the hardship,
Yeah.
the job loss, the breakup, the illness.
That's the jab.
That is the jab. It disrupts the pattern. It forces you to stop and pay attention.
It's like, the rumble strip on the side of a highway.
Yes.
When you start to drift out of your lane, that loud noise shakes the whole car. It's annoying, it scares you, but its only purpose is to keep you from driving off a cliff.
That's it exactly. The rumble strip isn't punishing you for bad driving. It's alerting you that your trajectory is off. But, and this is really the heart of the chapter, how do we usually react when we hit that rumble strip?
We get mad at the road.
We get mad at the road. The text says the incarnate mind repels the saving jab. We just push it away.
We say, this isn't fair. Why me? I'm a good person.
And then, according to Emmanuel, we submerge into a rebellious night. I love that imagery. Submerge. It's like we're choosing to sink.
We sink into victimhood, into bitterness. We start fighting reality itself.
And when you're in that rebellious night, you can't see the lesson. You can't see anything.
The text says we eliminate valuable possibilities.
Right. Because we're so busy staring at the door that just slammed shut, we don't even think to look for a window that might have opened. We call the lesson a misfortune instead of a renovating influence.
Which brings us to the most striking and I think the darkest part of the text, where it warns about the spectacular flight from the difficulty.
Escapism, pure and simple.
And he says this leads to a lifeless, slow suicide. That phrase just, it stopped me cold.
Yeah.
Suicide is such a heavy word. He's not just talking about the physical act here, is he?
No, I don't think so. Not in this context. I think he's talking about a spiritual suicide, the death of the soul's potential.
Okay.
I mean, think about what we do when things get hard. We want to numb ourselves.
We doom scroll on our phones for hours. We drink. We binge watch an entire series until our eyes hurt.
Yeah.
Just dissociate.
We check out. We abandon our posts. That's the spectacular flight. But when you numb the pain, you also numb your ability to grow from it. You become, as he says, indifferent to his destiny.
That's the lifeless part. You're walking and talking, but you're not really living. Your evolution is just stopped.
It's a slow atrophy of the spirit. We're here to learn, to serve, to grow. If we run away every single time the curriculum gets hard, we're not just pausing our education.
We're actually degrading our connection to the divine.
Yes, which connects directly to that image of the compact wall of shadow.
This feels like such a crucial point.
Yeah.
He says that when we act this way, running away, getting bitter, we create that wall.
Between our own heart and the paternal blessings.
Notice the agency there. Who builds the wall?
We do.
We do. It's not God cutting us off. The blessings, the love, the guidance, it's all still there. The sun is still shining.
But we're the ones boarding up the windows of our own house. We isolate ourselves.
So we're sitting in the dark, blaming God for the darkness, while we're holding the hammer and the nails.
That is the perfect analogy. And because we've done that, Emmanuel says that person cannot be treated as a son.
Not because God stopped being the father.
But because we've stopped acting like children who are willing to learn. We've run away from home, spiritually speaking. You can't teach a student who refuses to even enter the classroom.
Okay, so that's the danger zone. That's the rebellious night. But thankfully, the chapter doesn't just leave us there. It shows us the way out. It describes the blessed spirit.
The one who understands. the outcome of acceptance.
Right. And it lays out a very specific process. It's not just, oh, be happy and get over it. There are actual steps.
There are, and the first one is actually very validating, I think. It says, once the intimate tempest is overcome.
Intimate tempest. I like that. It acknowledges that there is a storm.
Exactly. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to be upset and scared and to cry. That's the tempest inside you. But the key is that you have to overcome it.
You can't let the storm steer the ship.
You have to regulate those emotions just enough to be able to see clearly again.
Okay, so once the storm has calmed a bit, what's next?
Reevaluation. The text says they reevaluate the importance of learning, serving, and constructing.
That's the pivot. That is the shift from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me? How can I be useful here?
It's moving from being a passive victim to an active participant. You start building again, constructing, instead of just tearing things down with complaints. You look at the rubble and say, okay, what can I build with these stones?
And then the last step, which I think is the hardest one of all, is applying gratitude.
Gratitude based on the bitter experiences of yesterday.
Yes.
That's the advanced class.
Gratitude for the bitter stuff. How do you even begin to do that?
Well, notice the perspective he offers. You aren't necessarily grateful for the pain itself. You're not saying, yippee, I'm suffering.
Right.
You're grateful for the superior life it's leading you toward. You're looking ahead to tomorrow. You're grateful for where you're going, not where you are.
So you're grateful for the outcome, not the process.
You're grateful for the correction itself. Because you realize that without that saving jab, you would have just stayed on that sad, dark road. You would have stayed asleep. The intervention saved you from spiritual stagnation.
There's a line near the end that I highlighted 3 times. It says, do not forget that evil cannot offer anyone a rectification.
That's a huge spiritist concept right there. It's a real mic drop moment.
Let's break that down. What does he mean by evil here?
Well, think about the alternative to facing hardship. What does the shadow offer you? What does the world tell you to do when you're hurting?
Numb it. Escape it.
It offers comfort. It offers distraction, illusion. It says, you don't need to change. The world is wrong. Just have this drink, buy this thing, blame that person. You'll feel better.
It's a quick fix, a Band-Aid.
It is anesthesia, but, and this is the absolute key, it cannot offer rectification. It can't fix what's actually broken inside you. It can't make you a better person. It can soothe your ego, but it can never heal your spirit.
Wow. That's profound. So only the correction from the Father, which often feels like difficulty, can actually fix our path.
Exactly. The easy path just leaves you where you are. The hard path, the path of correction, is the only one that actually changes you. And this all ties into Divine Providence. The text calls God the All-Merciful.
Which feels like a contradiction if he's sending us bitter experiences.
Only if your definition of mercy is making life easy. But if you see mercy as making us whole or helping us evolve, then the correction is the ultimate act of mercy.
It's a true message from heaven, a personalized curriculum.
It's tailored just for you. It's not random.
Okay, so let's bring this down to earth. If I'm listening to this and I'm right in the middle of a tempest, I lost my job, a relationship is ending, whatever it is, it's so hard to hear. This is a message from heaven. It can feel like a slap in the face.
It does, and Emmanuel knows that. He says, few individuals reach this acceptance. He knows it's hard. He knows it goes against every one of our instincts.
So, how do we apply this? How do we start?
I think it starts with a question. The next time you feel that pain, that wall, just pause. Don't immediately run for a distraction. Don't immediately start complaining. Just stop and ask yourself, what is this stopping me from doing?
Oh, that's good. Instead of looking at what you lost, you look at where you were going.
Exactly. If this is a saving jab, what is it saving me from? Was I on a road of arrogance, complacency? Was I putting all my self-worth into something material that could just vanish? The hardship forces a reset.
It clears the road.
It clears the road. So the application is to stop the spectacular flight. Just turn around, face the difficulty, and ask, okay, you have my attention. What's the lesson here?
It's about not building that wall. It's about keeping the line open even when you're hurting.
Especially when you're hurting. That's when you need the paternal blessings the most. If you lock yourself away in bitterness, you starve the very part of you that needs the strength to get through this.
It's a total flip to the script. Usually we think, I'll be grateful when the problem is over. This is saying, be grateful for the problem because it's the gateway to that new circle of life.
That's the new and promising circle of life he talks about. It's not about getting back to normal. It's about getting to something better, a higher level of understanding.
It's renovation.
It is renovation, and renovation is always messy. It's loud. It involves demolition, but the result is a stronger structure.
This chapter it is tough love. It really is.
But it's so hopeful if you can just get past the initial sting of the jab.
It puts the power back in our hands. We're not victims of a cruel universe. We're students in a demanding but ultimately loving school.
And every difficulty is just a chance to move up a grade.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you, our listener, with a question to reflect on. Is there a difficulty in your life right now? Something that feels like a thorn, something you've just been labeling as misfortune?
And if there is, maybe try a small contemplative practice this week. The next time you feel that sting, that generous reprimand, just pause. Don't immediately react or run. Don't start building that wall of shadow with complaints.
Just take a breath.
Take a breath and try to ask yourself, could this be a saving jab? Is this stopping me from going down a darker road? Can I, just for a moment, try to accept this humbly as a chance to readjust my path?
It is a brave question to ask. It takes a lot of courage. But as we've talked about today, the answer might just be the first step into a new and promising circle of life.
And that's a destination that's worth the struggle.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We are truly honored to walk this path of learning with you.
Thank you.
Until next time, may you find the light in the lesson.